Well, good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, and I thought today we would make some mischief. That's right. Let's get up to a little bit of mischief today. Now, you might be asking, what does mischief mean? Well, it's that kind of wild side that we might have inside of us that makes us want to do silly little things, like maybe, I don't know, sneak up behind somebody and hug them from behind and say, boo! Or maybe, I don't know, what do you think might be mischievous? It means being kind of silly and being kind of wacky and being kind of fun. So, today we are going to have some mischief making, and I have stories all about it. So the first thing I want to read you is from Shel Silverstein's Where the Sidewalk Ends, and this is the book Where the Sidewalk Ends. And I'm going to read you a little bit from a mischief maker. His name is Joey, and the name of this poem by Shel Silverstein is Joey. Joey took a stone and knocked down the sun. And whoosh, it swirled down so hard, and bloop, it bounced in his backyard, and glunk, it landed on his toe. And the world was dark, and the corn wouldn't grow, and the wind wouldn't blow, and the cock wouldn't crow, and it was always night, night, night. All because of a stone and Joe. There's Joe throwing that stone. So Joey was very mischievous, wasn't he? So let's not be quite as mischievous as Joey. We don't want to take out the sun, do we? But we can have a little fun today. So I'd like to start with our hello song. So let's wave. Hello, how are you all? Hello, how are you all? Hello, how are you? I'm fine today. I'm glad to see you here today. I'm glad to see you here today. I'm glad to see you here today. I'm so glad to see you. Okay, so let's see. Because I'm feeling mischievous, I want to make funny face. Let's do funny faces now. Make a funny face that's funny and you can't. And make a funny face that's funny and you can't. Like a funny face that's funny and you can't. I'm so glad to see you. Okay, and let's jump up and down and go boo. Here we go. Jump up and down and say boo. Jump up and down and say boo. Jump up and down and say boo. I'm so glad to see you. Okay, so let's see. How about if we hop up and down on one foot? Can we do that? I know, sometimes that's hard, but let's give it a try. Hop, 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 up and down and hop, hop, hop. Up and down and hop, hop, hop. Up and down. Now sometimes it's hard to hop on one foot. I know that. So let's jump on 2 feet. Jump, jump, jump like a kangaroo and jump, jump, jump. That's all you gotta do and jump, jump, jump like a kangaroo. I'm so glad to see you. You guys did very, very well today. What do you say we wave hello and get our story started? Hello, how are you all? Hello, how are you all? Hello, how are you? I'm just fine today. Hello, everybody. Well, it's Wednesday here in San Francisco, and we're going to make some mischief. So the first thing I want to read you is a book called Everett, the Incredibly Helpful Helper. Now, Everett doesn't mean to be mischievous, but he does end up being a little mischievous. Everett, the Incredibly Helpful Helper by Sue-Anne Morrow and C.G. Williams. And I have a little secret to tell you. The pictures in this book were actually drawn by a very good friend of mine. Oh, and there's Everett. He's running, 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 running. This book says this is for Griffith, who keeps me honest, Rowan, who keeps me company, and Jim, who gave me the time. That's from Sue-Anne Morrow. And C.G. Williams writes, for Phoebe, Jeff, and my mom, my very best friends and helpers. And this is called in Everett, the Incredibly Helpful Helper. And there's Everett, running, 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 running. See what I mean? He doesn't mean to be mischievous, but look, his paintbrush is dripping, which means there's going to be a little bit of a mess to clean up. Ooh, I like that hat that he has there. Everett Ellington understands that there are lots of things that need to get done every day. And Everett Ellington knows that he's the guy to do them. Well, look at that. He's watering a cactus, which is an interesting thing because cactuses don't need a whole lot of water. No job is too big. Or too small for Everett. Oh, now look at that little tiny, let me show you that little tiny guy. Isn't he cute? One bright Saturday morning, Everett jumped out of bed. He was ready and willing to offer his assistance to anyone and everyone. What a neat bed Everett has, huh? He has a race car bed. Isn't that cool? He burst into the kitchen where Mommy was making French toast. Good morning. I can help, said Everett. Oh, but the bowl was very heavy. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. First, let's see Everett come in and say hello to his mommy. Look how busy she is. And here's Everett. He's trying to help with that bowl. Oh, but the bowl is very heavy. And Everett's a little bit small to be reaching up onto that counter, isn't he? But he wants to help. I can clean it up, said Everett. Oh, dear. He didn't mean to spill it, did he? That's okay, Ev. I got it, said Daddy. Why don't you help Mommy set the table? Oh, I think maybe the doggy wants to help. What do you think? The French toast was delicious. And when everyone had cleaned their plates, Everett was ready to help clear the table. I can do it, he said. Thanks, Everett, said Mommy, but I think it's time for you to go get dressed. Everett helped Daddy find his favorite shirt. It was at the very bottom of the top drawer. Uh-oh, look at all those clothes that he had to pull out to find his favorite shirt. Oh dear. Sometimes that happens. When he was all dressed, Everett went to see if Mommy needed any help. She was finishing up some laundry. I can fold, Everett announced. Oh, there he is, trying to help fold the laundry. He was busily folding when Everett noticed that his dog Rudyard looked very hungry. Uh-oh, what happened to all that laundry, everybody? It tipped over. Again, he didn't mean to be mischievous. So Everett helped Rudyard get some food out of a very large bag. Oh dear. Do you think that Everett's doggy can eat all that dog food? As they were cleaning up the extra dog food, Daddy said, Hey, Ev, how about helping me with the grocery shopping while Mommy rests? Mommy was going to have a baby soon, and sometimes that made her tired. Mommy looks a little tired, doesn't she? The doggy looks like he's having quite some breakfast that morning, huh? Everett and Daddy were just about to leave when Mommy rushed out. "Oh, wait," she called. "I forgot to put ice cream on the list. Bob and Donna's double rich cinnamon bun crunch, please." "Okay," said Everett and Daddy in exactly the same time, and they high-fived. Everett's sitting in his nice car seat there, isn't he? On the way to the grocery store, Everett and Daddy sang some songs really, really loud. Daddy didn't always know the words, but Everett helped him out. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. When they got to the store, there was only one cart left. Everett had to run very fast to get around the guy with the big box of bagels. "I'll get it," he said. Uh-oh. I think he's about to knock the guy over with the bagels. Everett helped pick up the bagels. Then Daddy plopped him into the cart, and they set off in search of fruits and vegetables. There were apples and apples and apples. Daddy was a little confused. Sometimes it's hard when there's so many apples to choose, huh? I think Everett's going to try to help. But Everett picked the perfect one. It was hiding at the bottom of a very tall pile. Oh dear. Everett helped Daddy squeeze the tomatoes to see if they were ready to eat. Some of them were very ready. I think you're going to have to clean his hands after that one, huh? The last item on the list was juice. Daddy almost got the wrong size, but Everett helped him find the big bottles that were very high on the shelf. Oh, it's a good thing Daddy has quick hands, huh? It was finally time to check out, but Everett didn't feel like they were finished. They had unloaded all of the groceries onto the food mover when Everett remembered what they had forgotten. "Everett, come back!" Do you see Everett running? Oh, there he goes. Look, he's running. What do you think they forgot? Everett looked in the freezer after freezer after freezer. There were vegetables and tofu dogs and pizza and waffles. There were fish sticks and french fries and toaster snacks and pie. My goodness, it's a very, very big freezer section, isn't it? Do you see Everett there? Where is he? He's right there. You can tell where he's been because there's all kinds of stuff. In the very last freezer, he found Mommy's ice cream. "I got it." "You sure did. Good job, buddy." Everett helped Daddy carry the groceries into the house. Daddy's got his hands full too, doesn't he? Mommy was so happy to see them. "Were you helpful, Everett?" she asked. "Incredibly," Daddy answered. And that night, Everett helped Mommy eat her favorite ice cream as they read his favorite book. And that's the story of Everett, the incredibly helpful helper, by Sue-Anne Morrow and C.G. Williams. He was kind of a sweet little boy, wasn't he? He tried, he wanted to help, and he wanted to help. Now, I have a very silly song for us. This is about dancing, and it's called Knees Up, Mother Brown. And the way that you dance in this song is you pick your knees up, kind of like you're marching, and you kind of jump around. And it goes like this. There was a girl from France who didn't know how to dance. The only thing that she could do was knees up, Mother Brown. Oh, knees up, Mother Brown. Knees up, Mother Brown. Oh, knees up, never let the breeze up. Knees up, Mother Brown. Oh, hopping on one foot, can you hop? Hopping on one foot. Hopping, hopping, never stopping. Hopping on one foot, get the knees up, Mother Brown. Knees up, Mother Brown. Oh, knees up, never let the breeze up. Knees up, Mother Brown. Let's twirl, twirling round and round. Twirling round and round. Oh, twirling, never whirling. Twirling round and round. Knees up, Mother Brown. Knees up, Mother Brown. Oh, knees up, never get the breeze up. Knees up, Mother Brown. Oh, prancing up and down. Prancing up and down. Oh, prancing, never dancing. Prancing up and down. One more time. Knees up, Mother Brown. Knees up, Mother Brown. Oh, knees up, never let the breeze up. Knees up, Mother Brown. One more time. Knees up, Mother Brown. Knees up, Mother Brown. Oh, knees up, never let that breeze up. Knees up, Mother Brown. Now that is a song to get you going in the morning, isn't it? Or if you're listening at night, to get you going right before you go to bed. Spend a little bit of that energy. Now, talking about energy, this story is all about a very energetic bird, and his name is Papagayo. Now, one thing you may have noticed before we begin is that we have a different setting. I have put myself in front of the fireplace today, and the reason I've done that is I'm trying, as I am doing every day, as I do story time, trying to figure out what's the best way for you guys to see the pictures. So let me know what you think of this backdrop. Is it too busy? Is it distracting? Are the pictures not as good as when I was over on the couch? Because you and I are doing this together, and so I just need your help to let me know what you think is the best place for me to do story time. So, back to Papagayo, the Mischief Maker. There he is. And this is another book by Gerald McDermott. And this was written and illustrated by Gerald McDermott. He's also the one who wrote Zomo the Rabbit that we read previously. Papagayo, the Mischief Maker. Aren't those colors gorgeous? I love those colors. Look at that. There's the moon. It starts out nice and full, and then it slowly gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And then, look at this on the bottom here. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Woo! Papagayo, the Mischief Maker, with illustrations and written by Gerald McDermott. Papagayo. This is for Jane, Jack, and Alice. Oh, look at Papagayo. Isn't he gorgeous? He is gorgeous. Papagayo woke up with the sun. He ruffled his bright feathers, and he opened his yellow beak, and he greeted the morning with a raucous quack. The night creatures were fast asleep, but Papagayo was awake and ready to make mischief. Ooh, look at that beautiful Papagayo. Isn't he gorgeous? And look at the sun, how beautiful the sun is. Sometimes he would steal fruit from the spider monkey, and sometimes he would surprise the butterflies and send them fluttering in every direction. And sometimes he would fly high up in the sky, clutching a big nut, and then drop it with a crack on the armadillo's shell. Well, let's take a peek here. Here's the spider monkey. Oh dear. And there's the butterflies that he sends flying. And there he is dropping a nut on the armadillo. Oh, that armadillo does not look happy. Whatever Papagayo was up to, he always made a lot of noise. This disturbed the sleep of the night creatures. They would wake up and say, "Please be quiet, Papagayo." But the parrot would not stop squawking. And then they would complain, "Not so loud, Papagayo." But the parrot still wouldn't stop. Finally, the night creatures would get angry and they would scream, "Papagayo, shut your beak!" Can you see them all their little eyes looking out from underneath there? They got a little upset with Papagayo. At night, while Papagayo slept, the night creatures would venture forth in the moonlight. They would gaze at the white sugar moon and croon quiet songs all night long. As dawn approached, they would settle down to sleep through the hot jungle day. And that's why they were so upset, because they had spent the night up. They wanted to sleep during the day. No sooner had the night creatures closed their eyes than Papagayo was up looking for fresh fruit and fresh mischief. One morning, Papagayo was especially loud. The sleepy-eyed sloth had a talk with the bird. "Papagayo," said the sloth, "you make entirely too much noise. You disturb the peaceful sleep of the night creatures." "Quack, sleepyhead, why don't you laugh and play all day like I do?" asked the parrot. "The day is too bright and full of sounds. It makes us afraid, so we hide from the sunlight and the noise. But at night we can creep out beneath the moonbeams and sing gentle songs. We sing softly because we are afraid to disturb the quiet of the night." "Afraid? Afraid?" clucked Papagayo. "How could you ever be happy if you're always afraid?" "Ridiculous!" Papagayo ruffled his feathers and twirled around the branch and flew away over the treetops. Have you ever seen a birdie twirl around a branch? It's pretty funny. They go, "Woo! Woo!" I've seen it. It's pretty neat. When darkness fell, the creatures of the night gathered as usual to gaze lovingly at the moon. They looked up with watchful eyes and made soft moon music. Many miles away, in the heart of the rainforest, something stirred beneath the stones of the great ruined city. It was the ghost of an ancient monster dog awakening from a deep sleep. He saw the moon, and when he woke up, he was very, very hungry. He happened to be a moon eater. And when he saw that moon, round, sweet, and delicious, hanging in the sky, he licked his lips. He looks very hungry, that moon dog. The bony moon dog slipped from the ruins and floated up into the sky. He loped along the pathway of the stars towards the moon. All the night creatures gasped when they saw this fierce moon dog pounce upon the moon. They watched in terrored silence as he began to nibble at it. And then the moon dog took a big bite out of the moon and scurried across the starry fields of the sky and disappeared within the crumbling walls of the ruined city. Oh, he's a scary moon dog. See how bony and skinny he is, though, because he's been sleeping a long time. He's just very hungry. The next night, the creatures of the rainforest gathered under the stars. Trembling, they looked up at the bite-sized shape that was missing from the moon. Perhaps the moon dog won't come anymore. Perhaps he is satisfied, they whispered. We can't complain if just a tiny bit of the moon is missing. Perhaps our beloved moon will grow again and be full. But at midnight, the moon dog came again, and he bared his sharp teeth and hungrily began to eat the moon. To the horror of the forest creatures, he returned each night for a week, and as the moon dog grew fatter and fatter, the moon became thinner and thinner. There's the moon dog. Oh, and look at the sad creatures looking at the moon. Oh. After 7 nights, the creatures of the rainforest were too frightened to sleep. They sat silently blinking in the unfamiliar sunlight, red-eyed and sad, not knowing what to do. Papagayo came flying along just then, singing and chuckling to himself. He was surprised to find all the night creatures wide awake. Good morning, my bleary-eyed friends, Papagayo laughed. Isn't it past your bedtime? It's not funny, Papagayo, they said, pouting. It's terrible. Each night this week a moon dog has eaten a bit of our beloved moon. There is only the thinnest sliver left. Tonight he's sure to swallow the last of it, and night will be nothing more than everlasting darkness. Disgusting, spit Papagayo. Why don't you stop him? Because we're afraid, the night creatures answered in a chorus. There's nothing we can do. Nothing? Nothing? There is always something one can do. I'll stay up with you tonight, my friends, and we shall see what is to be done. Oh, brave Papagayo. That night, Papagayo kept a vigil with the night creatures. It was very dark because the moon was now just a slender crescent. But Papagayo tried hard to stay awake. He was just about to doze off when he heard the creatures whimpering. The moon dog had returned, and he was bigger and fatter than ever, and he greedily licked the last sweet bit of the moon. Oh, what shall we do? The night creatures moaned. He is eating the last of it. What shall we do? Papagayo jumped up. Rah! Rah! Make noise! Rah! He shouted. You must make noise! Rah! Rah! And the parrot flew up high into the branches and began to screech. Rah! At Papagayo's call, the night creatures began to stir. At first, they were timid, but gradually they began to yell and shout, and their sounds grew louder and louder until the jungle echoed with their cries. They howled and hissed and croaked. They clapped sticks and shook bushes and beat a rhythm with every night creature joining in, chanting, cha, chaka, 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 cha, chaka, 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 cha, chaka, 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 cha. And Papagayo screaming, Gah! The moon dog was frightened by all of the noise, and he jumped off the moon and ran through the sky, and he fled along the pathway of the stars and disappeared into the darkness of the great ruined city. We did it! Shouted the night creatures. We scared away the moon eater. Oh, how brave we are! And now our beloved moon can grow again to fullness. Papagayo cocked his head and chuckled. Now that the moon dog has tasted the sweetness of the moon, he is sure to sneak back and when he comes, remember what you must do. But the night creatures, proud of their great victory and tired from all the excitement, were already curling up for a good day's sleep. The sun began to color the sky, and Papagayo ruffled his feathers and spread his wings, and he opened his yellow beak and greeted the morning with a loud and raucous quack. But you know what? Not a single creature complained. And that is Papagayo, the Mischief Maker. And this, I believe, is another African tale. I love the African tales. I think they're so wonderful. Well, you might have noticed there was a frog. Let's see if I can find you the picture of the froggy in here. Here he is. Do you see the frog? See that frog right there? So I thought it'd be fun to sing a song about some frogs. It's a very silly song. It goes like this. And you can be a froggy if you want to. 5 green and speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating the most delicious bugs. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are 4 green speckled frogs. Ribbit, ribbit. 4 green and speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating the most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are 3 green speckled frogs. Ribbit, ribbit. 3 green and speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating the most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are 2 green speckled frogs. Ribbit, ribbit. 2 green and speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating the most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there is 1 green speckled frog. Neep, neep. 1 green and speckled frog sat on a speckled log, eating the most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. She jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. And now there are no green speckled frogs. Well, I thought for our last story today, I'd do another A.A. Milne poem. This is from Now We Are 6 by good old A.A. Milne, with decorations by Ernest H. Shepard. And this is called Twice Times. There were 2 little bears who lived in a wood, and one of them was bad and one of them was good. Good Bear learnt his twice times 1, but Bad Bear left all his buttons undone. They lived in a tree when the weather was hot, and one of them was good and the other was not. Good Bear learned his twice times 2, but Bad Bear's thingamabums were worn right through. They lived in a cave when the weather was cold, and they did and they didn't do what they were told. Good Bear learned his twice times 3, but Bad Bear never had his handkerchief. It's a silly thing to think about having a handkerchief, isn't it? They lived in the wood with a kind old aunt, and one said yes'm and the other said shan't. Good Bear learnt his twice times 4, but Bad Bear's knickers were terribly tore. It sounds like Bad Bear likes to have a lot of fun, doesn't it? And then quite suddenly, just like us, one got better and the other got worse. Good Bear muddled his twice times 3, but Bad Bear coughed in his handkerchief. Good Bear muddled his twice times 2, but Bad Bear's thingamamummies looked like new. Good Bear muddled his twice times one, but Bad Bear never left his buttons undone. There may be a moral, though some say not. I think there's a moral, though I don't know what. But if one gets better and the other gets wuss, then two little bears are just like us. For Christopher Robin remembers up to twice times 10, but I keep forgetting where I put my pen. And so I've had to write this in pencil. And that's the story of Twice Times. I think that what that tells us is, there really is no good or bad. We have little bits of each in us, don't we? So, what do you say? We'll meet tomorrow for more stories. I don't know what tomorrow's theme will be, but I promise you there will be many more stories and many more songs. So let's say goodbye. Well, goodbye, Ethan. Goodbye, Paolo. Goodbye, Scott. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, Allie. Goodbye, Marissa. Goodbye, JC. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, Delilah. Goodbye, Isabel. Goodbye, Christina. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, Terry. Goodbye, Helen. Goodbye, Maya. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, Marissa. Goodbye, Madeline. Goodbye, Maya. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, Gabby. Goodbye, Lillian. Goodbye, Madeline. I'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.